I like the relaxed feel of it.
I definitely liked that you never like shut us off and put us in a box. We got to just kind of be who we are without you like judging it.
I like that this class encouraged us to express our opinions and listen to others' opinions, and I also liked that we got to like hang out on couches, and the lighting really played a bigger role in like feeling relaxed and comfortable expressing ourselves.
Yeah, I like the whole it's supposed to be comfortable for us, and that it really focuses on like how the student takes away from the class and not just, grades and, numbers and stuff, and it's more about, life lessons and feeling comfortable and expressing what you feel.
In this class especially, I feel like we all had the capability of being an individual and be ourselves, but at the same time we had a family dynamic, and whether it be the setup of the classroom, all being able to face each other, or the lighting, or just overall the atmosphere that Mr. Lehrman created, I think that we all just did a really good job of creating a good communication between each other and just having a really good dynamic.
So I still remember the first time I came into this classroom, I was like, whoa, it's so pretty. How are we going to learn here? But it turns out to be a really conducive environment to any kind of discussion, to understanding different topics, to feeling comfortable with each other. I know that I've taken debate in a different course, in a different classroom before, and it didn't have the same feel. Here we have like a center to the room, we have comfortable seating, and these aggressive people with all of these ideas who speak fast, like they're able to be calm and actually talk to each other and feel comfortable around each other. And I think that the organization of the room, both with having like a nice central area and the lighting and comfort, adds to that.
Alright, so I feel like the whole vibe of the room is very calming. It lets everyone kind of hang out. It's not very high stress, and other classrooms are because the lights are super intense. And I feel like the coffee talk is a good way to kind of get everyone on a personal level and kind of get everyone's thoughts together without in a judgmental way of people arguing. And it just helps build bonds between students, and helps people stay informed. Everyone kind of gets to know on different perspectives and different outlooks of different situations of how things are going.
I feel like coffee talk was just like a regular conversation that people was having in a regular day, and it just give people a different perspective and what people thinks about everything that's going outside of this class.
I like coffee talk because you get to interact with people, and it's not just okay, you say something, you say something, you say something. It's it feels like a family more instead of just a classroom. And then I also like this classroom particularly because of the lighting, and it's not so harsh like other classrooms are. You get to come in and relax, and there's couches, and people just feel more happier right as you walk in, especially with the Cincy's. Smells good. I like
It's
it.
kind of laid back. It's just laid back in the classroom. It just makes everybody feel comfortable. It's like you're just sitting in your own living room.
Yeah.
So I think the best thing about Lehrman's classroom is that the seating arrangement and the comfort of the seating really allows for the conversation to flow, and not for it to be aggressive or not for it to be hostile, but for real conversation of how to make a difference and how to make change, and the reasons why we believe what we believe and the reasons why we argue the things that we argue, to flow in a way that is very productive instead of hostile, and so that everyone's opinions are heard and valued instead of just thrown aside because that's not what you believe. I think that because the room is arranged in a way that you feel comfortable when you're sitting down instead of sitting at an uncomfortable desk, because you're facing the people you're talking to instead of having them behind you or to the side of you, that really allows for more personal connections, and it allows for more human interaction than in traditional classrooms. And to me, that's the best part of Lehrman's classroom.
I liked this classroom setup, and I think it's important to help develop student voice because this whole setup is laid back and more comfortable, so it makes students feel more comfortable and more able to express their own opinions and learn how to express themselves and their opinions and their ideas. And so that's why I think this classroom setup is beneficial.
I liked coffee talk at the beginning of class because it gave me an opportunity to share my own view, but it also gave me insight on others' views.
Yeah, for me personally, I definitely felt more comfortable to just say what I felt, and I never felt judged, and that was really nice by the teachers or the students.
It's a very non-judgmental setting. It really encourages you to talk and just kind of make your own opinions known, and it really sparks polite debate, no real arguments or anything. It really gives you a chance to bounce ideas off of everyone else and just kind of have the conversation grow.
So one thing that I really like about this classroom is that it allows a way of having conversation that partakes in multiple
opinions. For example, the center of the classroom is very focused on everybody making eye contact with each other and looking at each other. In a conventional classroom, we don't necessarily have that. All of the desks are lined up and everybody's facing forward, so there really isn't a lot of access for conversation. And if it is, it's oftentimes confrontational, or there really isn't any personality there. So this classroom sort of challenges that. It allows for people to get close with each other. It allows for people to look at each other when they speak. And I think that adds a sense of humanity to conversation and cultivates more intellectual conversation.
Okay, so regarding student voice, I think it's really important that students feel like they are heard and that they are needed here, especially at school, since we come here every single day upon hours and hours a day. And this is such a big part of our lives. If we feel like we don't matter in it, then it really affects self-esteem and point of view and how serious we do take it. So in a classroom like this, where we get our voice heard, it's just very encouraging and uplifting.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we, find the correct, learning the right way to, express ourselves and being able to, say our opinions and, have a voice in our school, the right way, and just being able to, it makes us feel extremely comfortable and just helps in all aspects of school.
I feel like as the youth, a lot of times we can feel powerless because our parents are in charge, the teachers are in charge, they tell us what to do. And so when a teacher enables us and allows us to speak up and express our opinions, and then that actually results in something changing or something happening, it helps develop leaders and communication skills that will help us later on in life. And so I think it's so important to develop those skills and to allow us to see progress in due to the fact that we are standing up for our opinions and our ideas and innovations, and I think that overall it benefits generations to come as well.
Yeah, I feel like in school a lot of times they always tell us we're preparing you for the real world and everything. So I think that your classroom making us stand up and having our own voice and everything is actually preparing us for the real world, not learning not pointless things, but some things that we're not always going to use, but something that we're always going to use is our voice. And I feel like that's really important to that you're teaching us how to use it and stand up in our own way.
I think it helps us build self-confidence, and it allows us to formulate our own personal opinions rather than relying on what our parents have believed and told us what is to be believed for years, and makes us confident in our own opinion.
So despite the unconventional look of this classroom, I believe that there is a central focus to the entire decor of everything in it. Everything here is made to allow students to express student voice and to allow them to achieve a level of comfortability that allows them to express themselves. There's definitely a lot of different outlets that adhere to people's comforts, for sure. There's different chairs, different type of stools, couches. All of this is made to cultivate an environment that truly helps the student express their thoughts and their ideas, but not just express them, but also how to rethink their thoughts and ideas critically, and how to continue to develop everything that they've been thinking about, which personally I think has been an incredibly important issue for people our age, because it is a very transformational age, the teenage years especially. So I think that the way that this classroom is set up and the way that Lehrman teaches in particular is incredibly pivotal to a teenager's development, not just in terms of intellectual development, but also the way that they view themselves, their sense of self-worth, their self-identity. In all of these multitudes of ways, all of this is combining and agglomerating within this classroom together.
Because students are a valuable part of the classroom, and if they're not included in any of it, then how is anything ever going to get done?
I mean, the whole point of school is for us to grow as people. I mean, how are we supposed to grow if we're not able to express and develop our own opinions?
Yeah, I think that a lot of students are scared to speak up, and if the teachers are more inclusive and make it more comfortable, that'll be easier.
I think it just gives us more insight into each other's lives, because we don't know what is going on in their lives, and it just gives us better views.